It's a Wednesday. It's midweek. Excuse for a drink, perhaps? Welcome to Drinks Coach UK, all lowercase, Instagram, Twitter, Vinesack, Instagram and Twitter. Please ask me some questions, because on Friday it's Q&A day, and I'm going to answer questions from people that have asked through the different social media channels and also through the active chat that's on the show as we watch it on YouTube. And it went down very well a couple of weeks ago, so we're doing another one. Today I decided to do Italian sparkling because somebody asked me a question. Said, well, Italian fizz, how long's it been going on, blah, blah, blah. And I think that Italy deserves its own sparkling wine segment. It's not going to be long. And some of these shows are a sort of stream of consciousness. Some of them are just supposed to be entertaining, nothing more. Some of them are helping out people because I think that we deserve to help people out in this time in our world. I think that's very important. And please donate to the Drinks Trust if you want to. Yeah, this is a lesson, a quick lesson. I've only got 9 minutes to tell you about it. So here we are with 3 sparkling wines from Italy. We've got a Prosecco. Heard of that one? Thought you had. Franciacorta or Franciacorta. It's like Lancia isn't Lancia, it's Lancia. In the same way Francia is not Francia, it's Franciacorta. And this is probably the most underrated wine in Italy, in my opinion. Don't knock it until you've tried it. Asti. Yes, Asti. Don't say it. Don't say it. You're not allowed to say Asti Spumante anymore. Nah, because Asti is all Spumante. That just means fizzy. So there you go. There is a missing person here. And that is that my favourite sparkling wine in the whole of Italy is actually from a family called the Lunelli family. And they make wine in Trent, which is a most fantastic city. The murals and stuff and the cathedral, extraordinary. So much art there. And they've produced a wine called Ferrari. Yes, indeed, Ferrari. Their family go back way before the car was made. So they're the only people in the world allowed to use that name, except for the famous car producer. And they make sparkling wine that's not just really good. It's really good. I mean, put it up against most champagnes and I'll pick Ferrari over them. I mean, most. I'm serious about that and I'm not joking in any way. Perlet at £33 or something, which is one of their premium wines, tastes like an £80 champagne. Their £20 wines taste like £35 champagnes. They're just always over-delivering. So, shout out to you guys, Fratelli, Lunelli, to all you lovely people out there, and to Dean, who's my mate. So we're going to stick to these 3. We've got 7 minutes. That's 2 minutes per wine. I think that's about right. So the first one, right, 2 minutes on Prosecco. Okay, what is Prosecco? Prosecco is a wine made in the northeast of Italy, around a town called Treviso, mostly. And it's made from a grape variety called Glera. Sounds like an old guard dog, doesn't it? Glera, Glera. Well, we used to call the variety Prosecco. But then the whole region took a look at itself and decided there were some wines around the outside that weren't really up to snuff. So they said, you can't call it Prosecco anymore. We're going to call the region Prosecco. The variety is going to be called Glera. So this is La Marca. This was the first ever Prosecco I ever tasted. I know it's really hard to think of a time when there wasn't Prosecco in every fridge in the world. But when I was working in Oddbins, yeah, some people might remember that phrase, Oddbins, one of the great retailers of wine in this country, and it seems that the brand Oddbins and all the goodwill gets bought by one person to another. The reason why it succeeded is because it wasn't making any money. We all just loved our job so much. And La Marca was sold in Oddbins, and it was the only Prosecco you could buy anywhere, unless you were an Italian restaurant buying from various specialists. If you wanted Prosecco, they go, I think they sell one in Waitrose. I think I've heard. And now it's everywhere. So this is Prosecco La Marca. They make wines from this, which is their basic entry level, La Marca D.O.C. Let's look at that on the label. Beautiful coloured label. I don't know if that's Tiffany or Wedgwood or something, but it's very nice. But they also have wines that go right up to, and very single vineyardy wines like their Corneliaro de Valdobbiadene, which are really good wines. I won't go into too much detail here. We haven't got time. But this wine is made by getting Glera grapes, pressing them, fermenting them in a large tank under pressure using a yeast which we call an anaerobic yeast, which can do it without oxygen. The wine, the sugar turns into wine, and then through a centrifuge under pressure, it's put into bottles. This, by the way, is exactly the same way that lager is made. So it's lager made from grapes. But some of them are very, very good, and I drink lager. What's wrong with that? So the premium stuff comes from very special little sites. And there's one tiny site in the centre of the town, the mountain where Prosecco was first grown, called Cartizze, which is money. If you go to a restaurant in London, a top restaurant in, I don't know, West London, you're paying £100 for a Prosecco. That's a lot of money for grape lager. But some of them are very fine. Some are very fine indeed. Anyway, so this wine doesn't have the same complexity as champagne-styled fizzes. It just doesn't. The complex process and the aging and the time it takes to make what we call traditional method sparkling means that they're in a different level in terms of interest in most cases. But sometimes that's not what people want. I once described Prosecco as the best wine to drink with breakfast. Well, that's fair enough. It's made quite a long way south for sparkling wine. We're still in northern Italy, but we're nowhere near as far north as English sparkling, Sekt in Germany, Champagne, or any of the sparkling wines in France. This is further south. It's very, very important that we remember that. So that in terms of making a wine that's good enough for making sparkling and having enough acidity and not being too oily, this is about as far south as you can go in the northern hemisphere. And I'm sure there's the same equivalent in the southern hemisphere, where you're coming from the other side, really. So tastes like Prosecco. Prosecco tends to taste sweeter because it's much lower in acid. But also, basic Prosecco tends to have more sugar. You don't think about it being sweet because you're drinking fizz. You go, oh, it's just fizz, blah, blah. They must all be the same dryness. They're not. Some of these have 18 to 20 grams. That's 4 teaspoons of sugar in every bottle. That's quite a lot. But you'll find the more premium and the more money you spend, the better quality you'll find they are. And the drier they are. So, moving on. La Marca, I'm guessing that's £10 or £11. I don't know if it's a Majestic. Their premium ones are. They're £15 ones in Majestic. But I think it's more expensive if you buy one bottle. This is Tesco's finest. Yeah, I know. Franciacorta, made at Castafolia, which is a large, very good quality producer in Franciacorta. Where is Franciacorta made then? So if this is supposed to be the champagne of Italian wines, where is it? Well, been to Milan or to Venice? We'll draw a line right through the middle of them. So you're going from Venice, going through Verona, you're going across town, go right across Italy to Milan. Then in the middle, there's a region that starts there, but sort of goes up towards the Alps, and it's Lombardy. And that region, which is where Franciacorta is where these wines are from. And the reason why they can produce champagne quality wine is not because it's cooler, because it's not. But up in the mountains it is. The higher the altitude you get, the cooler the wines are, which means you can offset that sense of warmth that you get in the sort of like the lowlands of Prosecco, where the wines don't have the same acids, they're softer. So this wine is made from Chardonnay and another variety which is not permitted in Champagne. And you find this in regions which are slightly warmer, like if you're buying serious premium sparkling wine in California and in Franciacorta, you'll find a lot of Pinot Bianco, Pinot Blanc. Pinot Blanc is a variety which is related to Pinot Noir, etc., but it's not allowed in Champagne. It does actually make some very good sparkling wines. So this wine is basically what we call a Blanc de Blanc. It's a white wine made from white grapes. Most Champagne-style sparkling wines have quite a lot of red varieties in them. If it's Crémant de Loire from the Loire, they often have a lot of Cabernet Franc, which is a very dark red variety. But if you squeeze it, only white juice comes out, all the colours in the skin. If you're in Champagne, 2/3 of all Champagne is made just from Pinot Noir, which is a red wine. Okay, so here we've got a wine which is made just from white grapes, 80% Chardonnay, 20% Pinot Blanc. It's been aged in the wine, in a bottle like Champagne, to allow it to achieve what we call autolysis, which is the flavour of dead yeast cells in the wine, which softens the wine, makes the mousse, the bubbles smaller. Ah, delicious. Absolutely delicious. I think it's 19 quid. You will not find a cheaper Franciacorta worth drinking than that. At the top end, things like Maurizio Zanella's Ca del Bosco was once described by the famous American wine journalist Robert Parker as the Dom Perignon of Italy. Before you knew it, the prices were just skyrocketing. Another producer like Bella Vista makes wine like this, but it's £33, £34. This is an absolute star buy. So when you see this and you think, it's some weird Italian sparkling wine, and you're in Tesco, I'd take another look, because it's champagne good and it's 19 quid. So there you go. Last one. We have about a minute. This is Asti. Right, why do I like Asti so much? Asti's been around for a long time, and it was the first white wine in the whole of Italy to achieve D.O.C status, which is the highest status for wine, red, white or sparkling. In fact, they got status for D.O.C in Asti before any white wines at all. The next one to get it was Gavi, which is made next door in Piemonte in the northwest, near Milan and Torino. Now, this wine is made from some of the very, very best grapes money can buy. It's made like a Prosecco. I'm not saying it's particularly complex. It's made the same way. Put in a big tank, made under pressure, bosh. But you find me a better wine on earth that goes with Christmas cake than that. I mean, you're nearly dying of gout as it is after course 5 on Christmas Day. Leave the pork for the James Bond on Boxing Day. Drink Asti. Now, Martini, big name, famous for a vermouth as well. Same company, make brilliant Asti, frankly. It's brilliant. It's the only grape variety in the world that smells of grapes for a start. It's made from muscat, or Moscato Canelli, which is Italian for cinnamon muscat. Delicious wine, 7% alcohol. And just brilliant with anything that has chocolate or caramel fruit flavours in. One of the most underrated dessert wines in the world. There you go, that's Italy for you. See you Friday for the Q&A. See you tomorrow for some nice red wines.